Hello, everyone. I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to this Sunday night rewatch. If hopefully you guys had a good time with Al and Troy last night on their Night of the Living Dead, but this is a Sunday rewatch. One of the ones that I just wanted to jump in the schedule and get through because I teach this movie in my class at university, and it's always a good time. Dr. Horrible's sing along blog. I wonder if I'm coming through okay. Okay. Things are okay now. I was seeing that circle of death on the YouTube screen, but I think we're good now. So let me welcome everybody. Welcome the guests. With me, as always, is my trusty TA, Big Al. Say hi, Al.
Hi, Al.
And we have our guest lecturer, Klingon cleric himself, Mr. Troy Pacelli. Welcome, Troy.
Hey, everyone.
And the Klingon queen here to keep Troy in line, Miss Nanette Pacelli. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. How you guys doing?
And our very special guest, her first time on the rewatch on the Professor Geek stream. Hopefully not her last. Michelle herself, Mr. Sound Griever. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Hello.
And we have some people here waiting, ready to watch. Oh, I did. I forgot to put in the initial tweet when I put out this announcement that I do have a link. Sometimes the link to this movie stays up, sometimes it doesn't. You know, it's technically copyrighted material, but sometimes some YouTuber somewhere gets a link through and it stays up. And for right now, this link has been up for quite a while. It's a full movie. It's in perfect quality. So I am going to drop this in the chat in case anybody doesn't have access to the film and wants to watch along with us right now. Here is the YouTube link in the chat there. So. But I think all of us here have it either via video or watching. We got it all queued up somehow, right?
Yep. I
found
it on the high seas.
I'll be a pirate. How did the Night of the Living Dead rewatch go last night?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, we had a good time. It's been a long time since I'd seen that movie, and it is very relevant to what's going on today.
That's why wow. I did it.
Yeah. This when you really think about it, all the of course, if you just turn zombies into the coronavirus or whatever it's called nowadays.
Well, that first movie is a very deep and loaded film anyway. It's not just some empty horror film. It's got a lot to say about society and stuff.
We did talk about that.
The ending, of course, it could be translated several different ways, but
sure, yeah,
it's still none of them good.
Well, the only real connection our film tonight has is the name Doctor in the title, but it's a very different kind of doctor. So this is pure escapism. Although this is a really, like I say, Joss Whedon, he knows how to pack his films with meaning. If you guys remember when we did the Avengers rewatch, we talked a lot about all the symbolism and stuff he put in there. So if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up for us, if you haven't already, and you could share out the tweet for us, that would be a big help. But in terms of queuing the movie up, I literally hit play on the DVD and then pause immediately. So as soon as I hit play, I'm going to hear the drum roll begin with the music. Mm-hmm. And I think that's pretty much where the link starts.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's good. So yeah, there's no number to give you. We're starting at the beginning. So there's no lengthy credit scene or anything like that here.
It's the pure aughts.
Yep. Let me drop the link one more time. And if anybody joins later, chat, if you guys see anybody join, wondering what we're watching or whatever, you can remind me and I'll share the link out in, as well as you guys. I think Sound Engraver, let me give you administrative privileges too, so you can put links in the chat.
Oh, okay. Course. Thank you.
Gosh,
moderator.
She has been knighted.
Yes. You should see a little wrench next to your name now in the chat whenever you.
Oh, that's what that wrench means.
Yeah, One of the elite.
Oh, wow. I'm honored.
That means you can drop links. You can drop links to your channel too to remind people to go subscribe to your channel as well. And I put links to all of our channels down below.
Oh, thank you. So just to clarify, I can't put links in the comments or anything. It's just chat.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I can.
Okay. Yeah, I think you should be able to do it anywhere. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I thought that was forbidden.
So. Nope. Either way.
Yeah, I think once you've got a wrench, you've got the superpower. You can do it all. So
I don't know what to do with this new
power. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Sorry.
So welcome to the chat, Owen Lister, Casey Scott, got Melissa Harris. Welcome. Mr. Matchstick. I saw Agent Boomer in here as well. So welcome everybody. Crizzy Kitty, Great to have. Oh, Stephen Cruz. Stephen Cruz has joined us as well.
Awesome.
Always a party.
Mm-hmm.
Always a party if Mr. Cruz is here. Okay. All right. Well, is anything you guys want to get out of the way first? Or, it is a short rewatch in terms of the film play. Like I said, it's only about 40-ish minutes, but we've got a lot and I know I've got a lot to say about it, and I'm sure you guys do kind of know.
I was just going to say, I'm probably not going to have a lot to say about it, but I am eager to hear what Sound Engraver is going to say about this, because one of the things that I think is so incredible. I mean, you talk a lot about archetypes and so forth, and archetypes speak to something very emotional, something on a very instinctual level. I think music does the same thing. So when you're talking about a musical comedy or a musical drama or whatever, music really enhances that. Sometimes, as what do they say? A picture portrays 1,000 words. Music can portray more than just the words alone could. Yep,
definitely.
Yeah, agreed. And I did about a 2-hour analysis Thursday night, getting really into it.
Oh my gosh!
I have a list, but I don't have to unpack everything. I keep it not so technical.
Well, say as much as you like, because one of the things I found out during the rewatches is like I'll have a certain amount of things that I want to say about a certain scene, and I'm thinking, oh, am I going to be able to pack it all in? And then I just start talking because we're talking over the movie as it's playing, and then I realize, and now there's all this empty space until the scene's done because I've already said everything away. So there's plenty of time, plenty of room for you to say what you like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
My other thought is that this is only a 42-minute show. So, I mean, if you have like an hour and 20 minutes worth of stuff to say, that'll take us to 2 hours. There you go.
I mean, on the music side, I do have that much, but the other thing I have to disclose is I could also be reading into this like, whoa, I saw this, but maybe it was just a coincidence. Maybe is it his name Jesse Whedon? That
Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon. Yeah.
Oh, who wrote the music? I thought it was his brother.
Jed Whedon and Zach Whedon, or I think it's Jed maybe does the music.
Okay.
I forget which one.
Yeah, and I was wondering, like, was he intentional with a lot of things I was catching up, or was it just a coincidence? So,
well, quite frankly, nobody can read into as much stuff as the professor can. I still remember the Gremlins rewatch when he was reading stuff to why he was at the Pegasus gas station.
Yeah, whatever, man. I was making a brilliant point, and Al's my wingman. He's my Ed McMahon. He's supposed to say, "Well, great job." And he goes, "I think you're really reaching there."
At least I was nice enough to say, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that before."
Yeah, right. Yeah, see, there's etiquette. I was like, "Whatever, you're full of it."
Hey, it takes an acrobatic mind.
So I'm sure you won't reach Pegasus gas station levels of reading into anything. Well, shall we go ahead and start then? Just to remind the chat, we are starting basically just at the beginning. If you do want to follow that link that I put in the chat, I'll put it in one more time. You just kind of rewind the bar all the way to the beginning, and that's where we're going to start.
Sorry.
There you go. I know these songs get in your head, man. They really do.
I want Al to sing along while I do the analysis.
The Big Al sing-along blog.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Don't encourage him.
Now, honestly, it's been a long time since I've seen this, and I used to listen to the soundtrack a lot. Yeah. And I'm sure it'll like kind of be there as I listen, but I just don't think I have a lot of the words that ingrained right now.
And point out to everybody, Al's profile pic there is with him meeting the Miss Felicia Day star.
Yes, the lovely, very friendly Felicia Day. Met her a couple times because she's been at 2.
Now, see, if we were doing Once More with Feeling, then Annette and I would be singing through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Al, Agent Boomer said Orca is coming to Blu-ray. I don't know if that was something you're looking for.
Orca? Not necessarily, but I know what Orca is.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the Jaws kind of inspired films where it's Richard Harris versus a killer whale.
Ah, okay.
If anybody remembers that.
Oh man. Wow.
And real quick, Professor Geek, if my mic is maxed, just to see if I have clear audio. If it's too hot, I'm happy to turn it down too.
No, you sound fine. They're great.
Sounds fine here.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
No buzz or anything. So, all right. Well, for those watching for the first time, Stephen Cruz said, "Who's that stud with Felicia Day, Al?"
That's right.
That's right. Allison might not be much to look at, but Al certainly is.
Hey,
All right.
Wow.
there's a lot to look at.
We're going to do the countdown. I'll say 3, 2, 1, play. And when I actually say the word play, that's when we all hit the button play. So I'll say 3, 2, 1, play. And then when I say that word, that's when we go for it. So if we're all ready, wait, no, I don't want to do that. Hang on. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. And if you're a second or two off, that's fine. There's always a second or two delay between when I hit the button play.
Oh,
I've
So
got
the
those
first
goggles.
Yeah, you probably do the cosplay.
Yep.
The first thing about this scene here, so we're seeing his vlog, and immediately we see behind him on the right, that's all of his test tubes, all of his chemistry sets, all of his Dr. Horrible stuff. Yet the framing is very careful to show us over on the left his microwave, his little mini fridge, his dishes where he makes his ramen. So you see right away behind him, there's two paths, there's two sides to this character. And the movie really is about identity. And it's about the decisions you have to choose the kind of person you're going to be. That's what we see. And I just like that the setting immediately behind it sets that up,
Do you know
two sides of his life.
doesn't that look like the Serenity hanging in the window there?
Not intentional, but yeah, it might.
Yeah, definitely has that.
How long ago was this? What year did this come out?
I think it was 2008.
Yeah. The writer's strike was going on in Hollywood, which is why he ended up doing it.
I'm just wondering if this influenced Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
Oh, good call. I don't know.
And of course, we're the only ones that know who Dr. Doofenshmirtz is, Prof.
Phineas and Ferb is a
No, he knows
classic.
Phineas and Ferb, yeah.
I was probably like, who are they talking about?
Love my Phineas and Ferb.
Before we get into the music, can I say something about his Dr. Horrible theme? Just a couple themes.
Yes, of course.
Let me get my notes up.
She's got notes.
This
is a class act, guys. We are way outclassed here.
His Dr. Horrible theme, there are two major things. The first is the meter. It's like a 6/8 meter, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
And something about that meter in past, whether it's even gaming music, but also things like characters and opera, that's very dance-like, which has been portrayed as been used for things like the mischievous villain or the mad or the insane.
Oh, cool.
And so I like that he used that. And actually only 6/8 is used for this character.
Mm-hmm. And we heard a little bit of that in the intro, right? That's where you're talking about that.
Exactly.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, yeah.
And then the second feature is they use chromatics, which is any notes outside that natural diatonic scale.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it a little bit chaotic, and that's actually going to return quite in different ways.
That's cool. So that's commonly used for the insane or the ones who are a little bit touched like that. Yeah.
Right. If it's not key centered, if it's off, that's very specific to that.
That's really cool.
Wasn't the Thénardier's tune in Les Miserables the same meter?
So, disclosure, I'm really bad with musicals.
Oh, didn't know that.
So, yeah, that's a confession.
Okay, no, that's fair.
I like what you said, though, here for him with the mad scientist, because one of the cool twists of the movie is that he's the villain, but he's also our hero, right? I mean, like the hero, quote unquote, Captain Hammer, he just talked about, he's the jerk. He's the guy who's horrible. But we have our villain here wearing white. Captain Hammer, of course, wears black. We'll talk more about his costume here in a second, but.
Oh, we're in my freeze ray.
Yeah.
Now, the instrumentation in this song coming up is pretty important because this is the first time we see Billy just dressed as Billy.
Yeah.
And he has a kind of a light percussion. He's using piano. Well, it's electric piano right now, but it's going to get into piano. Anything to do with Penny, the piano happens. Piano is her instrument.
Yeah.
And this I'll try to say this without too much technique or technical stuff jargon. But this song, even though it's popish, poppy, and it's in C, it's in a nice easy 4/4 meter.
Mm-hmm.
It introduces something called mode mixture, which is using chords outside the key, like chromatics, but not with notes, but with chords. And every time mode mixture comes in, he's Dr. Horrible. Mode mixture outside the key, I think, is representing villainy. And anything centered to the key represents Billy or the good side, like with Penny.
Mm-hmm.
It adds good tension too.
Do you feel that sets up a duality?
I think so, because mode mixture is actually not used in Penny's songs, but it is used a little bit with Captain Hammer, just a little bit. But it's definitely used in the Dark Horse chorus.
I'll listen for that.
That's so perfect, because that does tie right into the theme of the duality within him. Yeah, I love that you pointed out this is the first time we get to see him as Billy. We are going to pay attention, especially in the next scene when we see him trying to pull off this heist. He's got differences in the way he dresses, of course, but also differences in the way his mannerisms when he's just Billy or when he tries to be Dr. Horrible. I know Ask here.
Got a super chat.
Oh, Stephen Cruz, thanks. $5. Let's say this all together now. 3, 2, 1. Oh gosh.
Moist.
Stephen Cruz's word. Got to get at least one in. Big Al rules. Big Al rules. There you go.
I think it's also funny because I think of him in he had this whole bit with Moist in How I Met Your Mother.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, because all of this, they were all tied together.
Yep.
Is this where you get your love for that word from? Moist, the henchman?
I think it just has to do with, the fact that so many people have a visceral reaction to it.
Yeah. I love the way we hear the text of this letter. This is brilliant.
Yeah.
First time I expected someone to go, Howard!
And that's Jed Whedon, I think, on the top left. Right there, that guy. This is the murder would be nice, yeah. He does the music.
This is also that's one thing too, that this is also 4/4. Even though it's Bad Horse, it's not 6/8. This is 6/8 is definitely for Billy, for Dr. Horrible.
Yeah, because he's the one that is trying to decide what's going on in his head. That's interesting. Okay.
Of course, one of the best reveals is when you actually get to see Bad Horse.
Yeah, exactly.
I died when I saw that, and it was a real horse. At first, I thought it was like robotic or stuffed. I was like, no, they actually rented a real horse.
Yeah, it's a real horse over there.
Real horse. I can waste anything made soggy or dampened. Can help.
He's such a likable henchman.
Mm-hmm. So here's that piano theme, like you said, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she's in C. Her song is in C, which is a very standard pop song, but it's very simple. It's not complicated. She just does. It's part of her character. She wants to do good. There's no ulterior motive. She just has an objective. Oh, here comes the electronic. This is my stuff.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I actually have a question to ask you about Penny's music. I'm going to save it for later at a certain point, but that's interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now this, we saw Billy in his memory, but this is the first time we see him out live, and he's all in blue. Look at that blue, a little bit of bluish gray, I guess, sweatshirt, but blue, true blue. He's still got a lot of Billy in front of him. We'll see a progression in his clothing as the movie goes through. This is a classic scene. My students always crack up.
It's a good reaction.
Yeah, that's how I talk to girls all the
time. Professor Geek social style.
That's right. What?
That's usually me when I pass Nanette in the hallway after watching a horror movie. Why you jump out at me like that?
Now watch Neil Patrick Harris's mannerisms. What is he constantly doing while he talks to Penny? Because we're going to see this come up every time he talks to Penny or he thinks about Penny. Look at his face.
I love that expression.
Yeah, and he's right here. I just said it at the wrong time. He's constantly blinking. He constantly does this, like he's trying to focus. Because Penny fogs things up for him. He's got this single-minded focus. I want to do the villain thing. I want to be Dr. Horrible. But when he meets her, when he talks to her, when he thinks about her, she doesn't readily fit into that scheme. So she fogs things up for him. He's constantly blinking his eyes. Even when he's singing about her later, suddenly he'll be the bravado Dr. Horrible, but then he'll stop and start blinking again.
Here comes the manifesto.
Yep. Of the human race. It's like when I talk about Disney Star Wars to girls.
Does your face twitch like that?
A little bit.
His face twitches whenever someone brings up something about Disney Star Wars. And he's not the only one.
Yeah, I will say I was never a big fan of Neil Patrick Harris before I saw this.
Yeah.
But after I saw this, I'm like, darn, is he good?
Yeah. Yeah. He really shows his range.
And then he started doing a lot more hosting duties.
Mm-hmm.
And you really see just how entertaining and how talented he is.
He's got an incredible singing voice too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have notes for this. Let's see. Let me pull them up. Man's Gotta Do. So one telling thing about his songs, which actually his songs are the best composition wise, I love his songs the best. One of the reasons is it's in minor, and he starts on a major chord for this song, and it's actually, I have to explain this after. It's kind of hard to explain. But you know, that major, starting on a major chord is not only attractive musically, but the major is his good nature at first, you know, as Billy.
Cool.
And
so he starts with the major, then goes in the minor. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And actually, Captain Hammer sings Man's Gotta Do major in the major key.
Oh, cool. So it's the same song, but it goes from minor to
exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Okay, I actually didn't know that Nathan Fillion can sing.
Yeah, he's great in this, isn't he?
I didn't know he could play such an unlikable character.
I know.
Right? Well,
I really cringe. He really makes his character really makes my skin
Oh, I
crawl.
know. He's supposed to be. Yeah, he's supposed to make you so uncomfortable.
The thing was, though, I'm watching, when I first saw this, I was just coming off of having seen him in Buffy, where he played the big bad for the season.
Oh, yeah. Caleb.
Yeah.
He was freaky as Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
He got buff for this role, too. Look at those biceps.
I was a little shocked how, you know, fast she fell into the garbage when I first saw that.
It's like you're banging him on the hood.
Now this could be a coincidence, but Captain Hammer sings this in E flat, and E flat major has been used a lot for like royalty and prestige and also heroics, like symphonies and stuff. So I don't know if that was intentional.
That would match his character, right? The bravado of being the hero, and
exactly.
And he wears black, like I say. He's got the hammer on his chest, and of course, a hammer is a tool, and Captain Hammer is a tool. That's what Dr. Horrible calls him, a corporate tool, right?
And by hammer, he means. Oh, sorry, that's later.
That's later. Now, the love triangle is great because they have so many songs with the three of them singing over each other. I'm sure that sounded good.
That was good. That was good music when they all came in together. I like that.
I love Act 2. Just like, what have I done?
Now, this starts with whether it's guitar or like I can't remember what it's called or how to pronounce it. Cavaqueno or something. It's like Portuguese smaller guitar.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But it's kind of like that nighttime serenade.
Oh, okay.
And when he sings, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say it makes it a little funnier because he's basically stalking instead of serenading.
Yeah, exactly. It's at night and all that. When he sings, and he's singing his verse with the guitar. When she sings, it's going to be, I think, with piano.
Okay.
But it gets into piano here. But I think you'll like this one, Prof. I love this chord progression here. Oh, so good. So when he says "evil inside of me," that's the first entrance of mode mixture in this song.
Oh, cool.
So mode mixture, I think, is representing evil or the evil working within.
Mm-hmm. That is so cool.
She's happy. Oh, I got really excited. I was like, oh, I kept replaying that line. I was like, oh, that's so awesome.
That's really cool. So it all fits together. That's perfect.
What a great place to take your date, to a homeless shelter.
Soup kitchen, yeah.
Well, Penny is utter purity in this.
Yeah.
And Penny is I asked my students, so what is a penny? What is a penny? They're like, it's a coin. I was like, no, it's change. Penny's change. And she's trying to fight for change, but a single penny is not enough. A single penny can expect no change,
Oh, wow.
She's named her. You got Billy stalking in the background. I love that. With the mustache.
I didn't know that.
Not even pouring soup in the bowl.
He's just like anything in the bowls.
I did not even. I've seen this like a few times.
Yeah, it's one of the things like that.
And I really love, I'm not a songwriter. I don't write songs, so I'm not a specialist in songs. But what I do like what they do here when they're singing together is they're singing their own verses.
Yeah.
And it works in harmony by keeping it in the major key.
Okay.
And what happens when they're that's crazy. What happens with their words is they actually say this the same words, a few words at the same time, but with a different context. Her context is hope, and his is this kind of despair that's coming in.
Yeah, that's interesting. The major thing, because I was wondering how sometimes they can say the different words and still harmonize. That's cool.
I feel bad for Billy. I like Billy.
Right? Yeah. I mean, he's nothing but empathizing. So we saw him at first in blue, then we saw him in green as he was stalking her. Now he's in gray. There's a slow, quote unquote, soiling of his clothing as Billy Buddy. He's becoming darker and darker as Billy. And where does he meet Penny? Where is his focal point for knowing Penny and seeing Penny? It's in the laundromat.
Yeah.
And laundromat's where you go to wash your dirty laundry, right? She represents the out for him. She is the way that he could go that's not this Dr. Horrible. She's the way he could go to wash that dirty laundry, so to speak.
I love the one line he uses. What a crazy random happenstance.
I love it.
You're driving a spork into your leg. Trying to use the power of the friend zone, but that's not enough.
But if he only gave it a chance, like if she only dated Captain Hammer long enough to realize he was a jerk, and she would have come back to Billy.
Yeah,
I think that's what really would have happened. I think.
Oh yeah, I mean, she even kind of has that. You see her have that sort of recognition at the ceremony too, right?
Yeah.
Even before Billy goes nuts. So I am.
The way he's gripping that spork looks like he's really driving it in his leg.
I know it does. Another cool thing to think about for his video vlog, this is how he wants to appear to the world. And that's very key. We start off with the vlog frame of how he wants to appear to the world, which is as Dr. Horrible. Mm-hmm. He's got he's wearing white. His goggles, though, are still on top of his head. He hasn't fully embraced the Dr. Horrible persona yet because Penny still fogs his vision up, with the blinking. Just reading the symbols there. We'll see that progress.
When he first adjusted the goggles in the first scene, I thought he was going to take him down.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So when he does that at the end, I was like, oh, that's
yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
Still,
but not literally.
I still remember at one of the conventions at the dinner, they had little like favors on all the tables, and one of them was a little box that had Wonderflonium.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And Steve Wilson, the guy who owns the publishing company, I published through his son Ethan, who's a great vlogger for action figures. He got to dress up as Dr. Horrible and sit next to Felicia Day that dinner. I was like,
Oh, that's cool.
dog. He was like a teenage boy too at the time. You know, he was just loving it.
Like Paladin Demo is like, oh god, the blog is Sheldon's revenge fantasy.
Yeah.
Now, this might be me reading too much into it, but those goggles that he's wearing are welder's goggles. If he pulls those down and puts those on, you can't see anything except the brightest light.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that means anything in your whole schema of vision and clarity, but I'm just going to throw that out there.
Never thought about that. Forgot about that one.
I like that.
I like that Moist can't get the top off because
I
his
know.
hands are too
It's too slippery, yeah.
And this makes you're all the more endeared to him because he doesn't want to kill. You know, he's here to create change, but he doesn't want to kill.
Right.
Again, that word change, he even says that later in the song, to affect social change. Tying it back to Penny. Now, I know Penny, Michelle's going to talk about her song here in a second, but they put her in a yellow skirt, a blue top, and in a sweater with birds on it. What other fictional character do we know who has a yellow skirt, a blue top, and has birds on her shoulder?
Pick me. Snow White.
Exactly. Snow White. Because she's that type of character. She's the purity character. She doesn't have a lot of agency in terms of her own decisions matter much in the story, but things happen to her. She represents purity. And here we have Billy in brown now. So we've gone from blue to green to gray to brown, you know, again, slowly darker and darker, and this scene is going to end up with. But I was curious, it sounded, Graver, do you see, I mean, you might have to go watch the Disney movies again because this is catching you on the spot, but do you see anything might resemble some of those Disney songs between her music and this? You might have to go listen to them again, but
Like Snow White specifically?
yeah, or just princess songs in general. I don't know. There might not be anything there.
I would have to look because, you know, composition, even in the 20th century when those animated movies were made, I mean, they were taking like from composers of the 1800s.
Mhm.
And so, but, you know, major keys, you know, dance like, not like the mad dancing that I was talking about with the 6/8, but
Yeah.
and it's like this song, you know, compositionally, it's not my style because I like tension in my music. I like suspense, you know, music I compose or music I listen to. But that's her character. I mean, it was composed for that.
Yeah.
Like just nothing, no ulterior motive, nothing complicated.
Actually,
Sorry, what?
I was going to say I noticed a correlation. It sounded like the chord progression was very similar between this piece and "I'm Wishing."
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just what I observed.
Yeah. From Snow White. Nice.
Oh, okay. I'll have to listen to. Yeah.
You have to go back and hear some of those because you haven't listened to them in so long enough for me sometimes.
You know, it's really hard to watch this and not really kind of fall a little in love with her.
She
That is the
adorable.
idea. Yeah.
I know, but it's just, I mean, it's just like complete. Well, they got the right actress because she just looks like sugar and spice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her
my wrist, I
smile is
have to go.
adorable. I like when she says "Hey" to Billy for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, recognizing him.
Yeah. We're meeting now for the first time. I'm just naturally like this. It's such great banter and dialogue.
Nathan Fillion is this great ego. His ego's in check, but he really knows when to turn it on too.
Oh yeah.
He's the guy. He's the actor who can play ego and still be liked because of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Good way of putting it.
I'm just looking at him thinking, oh my gosh, he was so young then. We just watched The Rookie yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he would love to hear that, Troy. He was so young then. We just saw the rookie. He was so old.
I'm sure he's already noticed that.
Yeah.
Now this is a real change in Billy's music too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It has to do, and we can talk about it when it happens. Actually, Brand New Day is probably one of my favorites because of instrumentation and the chord progression.
Mhm.
But with Brand New Day, when he's about to sing, it's in a minor that has a lot of flats, a lot of darkness. It includes a note, the note A flat in this minor, which actually was first introduced as part of Mode Mixture in his My Freeze Ray song.
Okay.
It's just a darker. What that? Yeah.
I was laughing at the line.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was looking over my notes and I heard, I was like, they probably crossed that scene.
Yeah.
But also the instrumentation. This is like
Yeah.
prog rock. This is real
Right.
meaty, heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the lyrics on this.
Neil Patrick Harris seemed to be a bit cross-eyed.
Every nerd just raises their fist in triumph at this song because every nerd has felt this suppressed rage, you know. It's like, well, one day, you know, this is great.
Yeah, this has so much Mode Mixture in it. Like there is a definite key, like especially when he sings the verses and talking about Captain Hammer. But in the chorus, it goes all over the place. There's so much tension in the chorus.
I can see that, and that makes sense too, especially with the more electric, more synthesized music and sounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love that his picture of Penny is a stalker photo in a frame.
I didn't notice that until the last time I saw it. I was driving and I was thinking, how did he get a picture of Penny? Like they weren't together to get a picture. And then I saw it. I was like, oh, he's like through a bush or something.
And I love this prop to this chair because he's dreaming about a throne of the world, but he looks like a little child playing in daddy's chair. So like,
exactly. He has kind of a maniacal, like Keys to Australia look.
Yeah. I'll give her the smallest continent there is. She'll be happy. Great jump to the next act.
Yeah.
I love this song.
Oh, I recognize the woman on the right. She was one of the producers from Buffy. She's the one that sang about the fire hydrant in the Buffy musical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That means nothing to this.
No, he was using a lot of they used some of the Buffy sets. I mean, the writer's strike was going on. They basically just did this on their own. So they used a lot of friends coming in and I love the groupies.
Who's the girl on the left?
The one in the red shirt. It's like I know her from something.
Yeah.
She's one of the writers of the thing with them.
Hope to set an example, for children and stuff.
Who's gay?
Are you that far?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I'm there. I'm there. I know this.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we lost her.
We have a problem with her.
No, I'm not sure. I really like those gloves.
Like the groupies. We do the weird stuff. It's so sad. Look at her looking for Billy.
Yeah.
She's got a second frozen yogurt there all ready for him, but he's not there.
and she also turns when she hears the door open.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, there's no mode mixture. This is all about the community. Penny singing, Captain Hammer singing.
Plus, he's already made his decision at this point too,
Right.
right? So yeah, okay, that makes sense.
You gotta admit the songwriters did a brilliant job with the lyrics in this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Are you just a few seconds behind, Michelle, or are you?
I think 29:30.
The mayor's just now given the talk. I don't have the.
Oh,
I'm at 29, 35, 36.
Okay,
yeah,
yes.
yeah,
We're all around the same
Exactly
time. Yeah.
with Al, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we tend to vary a little bit seconds wise. It's no big deal.
when I said that, it sounded like I was way behind.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you're way ahead.
Yeah.
This speech and this song is just. This is where the cringe comes in.
Yeah,
I feel Felicia Day did an excellent job on this. She's not. There's no words. She doesn't say anything, but the way how uncomfortable she looks is brilliant. Because like I feel the same.
Yeah.
She's waving and just nervous.
Not my usual, but nice.
Just vile. Ugh.
I know, right?
Was that a Diet Dr. Pepper I heard?
Oh yeah, that's all I ever guzzle.
So instrumentation for Captain Hammer is mainly brass. Now, Dr. Horrible has brass in his, but it's a lot more subtle. There's more bass drum and glockenspiel and theremin with Dr. Horrible. But with brass is definitely regal and hero.
Mhm,
That's the instrumentation you want to do for hero. It's for the king, awaiting the king.
Yeah, that makes sense for the hero. Yeah, perfect.
But I did want to say, the way he uses mode mixture in this song here is exactly the same mode mixture in the Bad Horse chorus.
Oh, really?
So it's very subtle.
Okay, so it links him to the big villain. Yeah.
Yeah, whether just kind of as a comparison,
Mhm.
but that there is more villain to this character than he's not a good guy.
That's a good way of showing it, though. I like that. So cringe. It's like I'm just gonna leave now. The abs of being kind. Like his groupies are just like, oh my gosh.
But the things he says is so brilliant.
I know.
you gotta bash in minds.
That's like the SJW playlist rally. It's not enough to bash in heads. You've got to bash in minds.
We know what guy he's talking about.
Exactly. He nods afterwards.
Oh,
I do smell like poo.
Mostly me. And
Bashing in the slums. It's so horrible. He points to the one guy after he says that.
We're heroes just like you.
I know. Oh, it's so horrible.
I don't think Professor Geek. I don't know comics like you, but I don't think this fits the Superman archetype, right?
yeah, no.
No. You're very, very right. Very right.
Okay, now here comes my favorite song.
Yeah, this is great.
So this is in 6/8, and very light percussion that is in his theme.
Yeah, so I hear that theme in the piano there. I never thought of that before, but you're right. That's his theme again coming back. Okay.
Exactly, that 6/8 feel, and it's that mischievous villain. He is becoming the villain. That is his arc, ultimately.
Yeah.
But he's also using chromatics. He's not using mode mixture. The key isn't changing, but he's not staying central to that main key. And he's also, that electronic instrumentation is the same used in the alley for the heist. Oh, was that me?
No, that's Nanette.
Sorry.
It's okay.
She hasn't yet quite figured out the mute concept yet.
No problem. No problem.
So, although you pointed out that clearly he is, Captain Hammer is definitely not Superman. There is an analogy to be made between him and Lex Luthor, because the Lex Luthor thing is, I want everyone to see what I see in this, adversary of mine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're taking the dynamic of hero versus villain and playing with it. They're playing with expectations and blurring the genres in this, blurring the archetypes and stuff.
He accepts the title villain, but he's in his own head the hero of his own story.
Yeah.
And I could be mistaken. Does he have a little bit of hesitance about to kill him?
Oh yeah. I mean, why would he freeze him first instead of just shoot him with the death ray, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, he does not want to do this, but.
And see, that's the other thing. He doesn't want her to see him do it.
Yeah.
Like the reporter constantly taking notes.
Now, Penny just heard him say Billy Buddy, so suddenly Penny knows. He still sings the last note of his song. Flipping him off while he does it. Oh. Yeah, right there. Like, why would Billy even want to warn him?
Yeah.
If he really just wanted to kill him.
Yeah. But he was about to kill Billy or Dr. Horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
This is brilliant.
Someone maternal.
This is what pain feels like.
And then that's the moment that just kills everyone right there.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, Joss.
Joss loves doing this
He
stuff.
does. He loves killing a character people like.
Oh, and it's that piano. It's just a single piano.
Mm-hmm. That is interesting that you said that. That actually, that clicked something in my head now that you said that for later. Interesting. And even though it's something Joss Whedon loves to do, it actually does. It works for this story because it shows what happens when you continue down the path without seeing what's around you, without seeing the options you have.
But it's becoming a badge, a bit of a badge in Hollywood for a while there to have been killed by Joss Whedon.
Yeah. It's a real Jungian concept too, though, when you fail to integrate your shadow, and the geek with his nerd rage is a perfect example of this. When you're incapable of standing up for yourself in real life, and all you do is just kind of take it inside of yourself and seethe about it later, that's not healthy. And instead of, and it makes you think of all these things you do for revenge or whatever, and that shadow just overcomes you, and then there are unforeseen consequences because of it. Whereas if you just sort of integrated that shadow in your life, standing up for yourself when it matters, not worrying about it when it doesn't, and so forth, then you become an integrated whole, and you don't have that kind of blow up and these kinds of consequences and whatnot.
And on a simpler level, it's the basic dramatic tragedy. It's, you look back and you go, yeah, this was basically where it was going the whole time.
Mm-hmm. The catharsis of it, yeah.
Exactly.
I could be mistaken. I would have to check this, but I believe it's also an F minor, which is the same key that he sang Brand New Day.
Oh, okay.
And the mode mixture used.
Harry Boyd's what's her name?
That's awful.
I know.
I like the line in the under the news says Captain Hammer unavailable for comment for first time ever.
And then Captain Hammer needing major therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And then the groupies, they turned
to Dr. Horrible now.
Did you catch that when he was robbing the bank, he was just half-hearting it?
Yeah, yeah. But see, he got what he want now, right? What he wanted. He's got the social change. People are rooting for him, a villain now, instead of that.
Yeah.
And now he puts on now he's been bloodied. So now it goes from white to red. The gloves become black because he's taking on an attribute of the person that he fought, Captain Hammer.
Yeah.
And of course, Bad Horses right there with all of the, the other league. That's great. And now putting the goggles down, now he becomes Dr. Horrible. Now in this end scene, we're going to see one more little moment of him in a second. Remember that before the vlog camera is how he wants the world to see him. And he opened it up with Dr. Horrible. That's how he wanted to be seen by the world.
Right.
Now he finally is seen by the world as Dr. Horrible. He's feared. He's a member of the Evil League of Evil. And then boom, you just had that moment of silence where he's dressed as Billy, all in black now because he's crossed a line he can't come back from. Yet he wishes he could be seen as Billy now. That's powerful.
I was shocked when I saw that last bit. That was really well done.
Right? And the silence of it and everything. I mean, and for you too, like knowing
so quiet.
Yeah. Suddenly the absence of music had to be powerful.
And just the word he uses. Nothing.
And I did want to mention that very last bit there, or actually getting into it when he's Dr. Horrible. That's all that hard electronic instrumentation that we've heard before. But the mode mixture used, it's not really mode mixture, but there's a chord involved in this key called the Picardy, or it's called Picardy third. And what Picardy third is, it takes the minor third of the key and makes it a major third, so it sounds major. And this was often used with in Bach with his music.
Okay.
And it stood often used, I think, for that kind of religious, that kind of piousness. And I don't know if that meant that he has like a redemption coming, but it's really a spiritual use of the of music there.
That's a great concept, because we know that, I don't know if they'll ever actually get around to flipping doing it, but forever Joss Whedon and everybody involved has been saying they're going to do a sequel. They're going to do a sequel. It's been decades now, almost practically, and nothing. Well, at least a decade. So it's interesting, but we have had more of this story through comic books. I think either Jed or Zach Whedon wrote a prequel of Dr. Horrible growing up, kind of becoming enamored with this supervillain that was around in his time. But Joss Whedon himself just wrote a Dr. Horrible comic within the last yearish or so, and it was the time it was kind of what's going on. And the joke of the comic was that Captain Hammer had somehow gotten into one of Dr. Horrible's inventions when he was trying to raid his lab or something, and it made them think they were best friends. So all of a sudden, Captain Hammer and Dr. Horrible are best friends. They're like going to see the Backstreet Boys together and all this kind of stuff. And they eventually hear, but Penny keeps appearing to Billy in his mind. She's like his conscience, and she's the one that appears to him in his dreams, and he's constantly guilty over it. And there's even it's funny, it's tragic, but she tells him something that's going wrong, something that his subconscious would know, but it appears to him conscious wise through her. And she says, now you got to wake up and act on this, because he's sleeping. He says, I can't wake up unless you do the thing. She's like, I'm not going to do the thing. He's like, you got to do the thing. It's the only way I can make sense of this. So suddenly her face starts to melt off, and she's like, Billy, you killed me. Why did you kill me? And then he wakes up in a terror, and then he's able to go on it because he has that guilt still. That's horrible to hear after you just saw her die, on screen. But in terms of his story going on, it does show he's constantly feeling awful about this. I just wish they would do do a proper sequel and really kind of close this out, because I know Joss Whedon's got a great story that goes on from here.
I love the names of the Evil League of Evil people. Professor Normal, Fake Thomas Jefferson, Tie Dye, Dead Bowie, Fury Leica, Snakebite, and of course Bad Horse.
Dead Bowie. He's supposed to be like a David Bowie. That was Zed Whedon too, I think, dressed up as that.
Jed Whedon.
Zed Whedon. I keep saying Zed because Zach. Yeah, I know.
Of course, Bad Horse, played by Dauber.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, apparently some people in here got like some friends of his just really wanted. They were allowed to make up their own characters apparently too, I believe. If I remember right, the Duchess of Defeat. She was in The Tick, I think, as the Wonder Woman type character. If the Duchess is the one I'm thinking of.
The Pink Pummeler, Purple Pimp,
Pink Pummeler was the guy with the pink gloves. Yeah. Let's see if I can look up some of these. They did a oh, it was so horrible. They did apparently it's a special feature on the DVD. They had a contest, and people were allowed to create their own villains and send in video applications to join the Evil League of Evil. And the ones that, like were the finalists or whatever, were you can look this up because people have their applications online. If you just look up Evil League of Evil applications or whatever, people will join in. And one of the ones, I think it might have been the one that won, or it was one of the ones that won. It was hilarious. It was like this evil group of rabbis, and they were all like in their Orthodox rabbi gear, and they were talking. They were saying so many hilarious jokes. But the one their big scheme, their big evil scheme, was going to be to blow up the Washington Monument, but just the tip. And they actually won. You can look up there. I'll see if I can find it. It's somewhere. But a lot of people did. Some of them were really creative. They were funny. But that was a whole contest today. Because they released this. The writer's strike was going on, so nothing new, no new content was coming from Hollywood. You remember a lot of shows were going to reruns at the time, and I think Jay Leno kind of famously decided he was going to write his own jokes so that the Tonight Show monologue could continue and stuff like that.
Some would argue that there hasn't been any new content since.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But that's why they did this, because they all had time on their hands and stuff, and they released it on the internet, and they released one act at a time, and it was either per week or per month. So there was like time for the buzz to grow and people to wonder what's going to happen next and stuff like that. And that's why for the longest time, it was actually available for free everywhere. I can't believe this link is still lurking, but they actually did eventually give a permission for a musical version of like a stage play musical to be performed. And you can actually get the rights to that, like community theaters and stuff like that can actually get the rights. I think still, we'll see. Yeah. But to actually put on a show and I
think you were probably
go ahead.
You were probably going to say what I was thinking was you could see some of those performances on video when you look, because I noticed some of the stage plays when I was trying to find a copy of this.
Yeah. It's kind of cool how they do it, especially for the vlog and stuff like that. They'll have the stage blocking and stuff like that. Pretty cool. So that was fun. That was good. I just sorry it was so short, but that was just the movie was short, So but we'll definitely have to have you back, Michelle. That was really great stuff. That's I love that idea, the mixed modalities. That's what it's called, right? I got that right?
Yeah, that works. I think the technical term is mode mixture.
Mode mixture. I'm sorry, mode mixture.
That's cool though. I knew what you meant though. So
I'm writing some of these down because occasionally I'll have music majors in my class, and I'll try to explain sometimes. Like I try to explain how there's a subtle progression from more natural sounding music to the more the synth sound. But now I'm armed with actual terms that can make them think I'm less smarter than I am. Like, well, clearly you guys catch the mode mixture, right? So that'll earn me a lot of points. Is there nothing that guy doesn't know?
Yeah.
You got a super chat.
Versatile.
For
Agent
Sound
Boomer.
Engraver.
Thank you so much for $2, Agent Boomer. It says Sound Engraver, what is your favorite movie score?
Oh.
What is my favorite movie score?
Good one.
That is a good question. Well, I'd have to think about it, but I can't go wrong with Howard Shore's Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Just it's well done. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I do like Star Wars though.
Like what?
But I like Star Wars. I like the original Star Wars, but as far as orchestral, I'd probably have to say Howard Shore's, because he uses also a lot of choral. I mean, they did a lot of diverse things with groups of singers and the way they use their instruments. So really took you to a different world. The thing is with Star Wars, I can't remember. I heard on some YouTube channel, I don't know if it was yours, Professor, but John Williams, I do agree that without his score, it would not have been what it is now. Star Wars. I mean, it's a great story, but that music is iconic. Yeah. If they had done, because I love science fiction, but I love electronic music. I would love the incorporation of electronic music. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't have been what it is now, but to me, it would make more sense doing electronics. But I'm so glad that he did what he did. But I don't know where I was going with that. But
I had heard
you know who does it wrong? I don't know who the composer is, and this is just an opinion. I'm not saying this is fact. I don't. Did you guys ever see the movie Jupiter Ascending?
No.
I don't think so.
It's as far as film goes, I can't be objective about it, but the way they do orchestra with that sci-fi feel, it does not work.
Really?
It doesn't. It just pulls you out because the orchestra's been around since the 1800s. And so it's not futuristic.
Well,
but Lord of the Rings is. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just building on what you're saying there. I think the only reason it works with Star Wars is because Star Wars is such a timeless sort of fairy tale, just happens to be set in space.
Right.
It's different from the sci-fi that like Star Trek is or something.
That is true.
Yeah,
it's got that. It's got an ancient sensibility about it.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about like 2001 with that kind of a score?
Yeah, that's a very interesting score because oh gosh, I can't remember. He uses Ligeti's Atmosphere. Well, he uses different iconic, Strauss, with the brass coming in. Ligeti's Atmospheres is what he uses when they descend on the moon and see the monolith.
Right.
Now, I will give you guys, I have to confess, I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't know. I'm not a movie score buff.
Okay.
But keep asking, and I'll just tell you I don't know. But yeah, actually, what I love about Howard Shore is that he can use the orchestra, but you really are transported to that world. Even though back then, like in the medieval times, there was no orchestra, it still works.
But I will say, with listening to some of your work, of course, we were talking about a musical score. The first thing I think of is a film that I really love, which is Legend.
Legend.
Oh, Legend.
Tangerine Dream.
Okay, I love Tangerine Dream. So I wouldn't be surprised if I really liked how they put it into film. Their music is very it's made. When I hear their music, it kind of teleports you to like this kind of visual world. Like you can imagine going into a world like you would go into seeing a movie. Right. I do like a lot of their stuff.
Which is very much what you get from Legend, because you can watch that and just kind of be engulfed in the music and the ambiance and the unicorns in the forest. And
have you ever seen it with the alternate score? That
I have not. No.
For some reason, I can't think of who it was. For some reason, I can't get Horner out of my head. But they did a more conventional score for it. In I think the European version in America is where they had the Tangerine Dream version. So, but it really does change the movie entirely.
I would imagine.
Well, music tells you what to feel and when to feel it regarding the scenes, so it's really a big part. Stephen Cruz is talking about Trent Reznor doing some electronic orchestral music with Atticus Ross for scores, Stephen, or just for albums to put out. I don't know.
I like his instrumentation. Like with 9 Inch Nails, like I listened to one album, and to be honest, like the lyrics are just too angry for me. But his orchestration and his instrumentation is very good.
Oh yeah, definitely. He knows his stuff. Didn't he? I think he did. What shocked me, there was a movie that came out years and years ago about the Beatles before they became the Beatles, like when they had their old drummer. I forgot.
Pete Best, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what it's called. Yeah, but I think Trent Reznor did the music for that. Trent Reznor did the music, which is like Trent Reznor doing the. I mean, he's probably had some help for like some of the Beatles songs and stuff, but that was kind of a weird call, I thought, if I'm remembering it correctly.
And that other composer was Jerry Goldsmith.
Okay.
So.
Michelle, the other night when we were doing the stream and we showed that because YouTube's the bots are just taking streams now, and we showed the videos loving the Legend stream. Did that whole video get played, or did it cut off before then? Because we were all on stream.
It played all the way to the end.
Okay,
and I don't
good.
know if I took back my Twitter comment because I thought it was hilarious, but you looked really you sent a pretty teed off tweet. I was like, oh no, I should take this.
Oh no.
I was like, so. So
No, I was just mad at YouTube for constantly taking down my streams.
I mean, it played it. What my experience was, it played it to the end, and then boom, like this
gone.
video is unavailable. So, but I thought it was so effective. It made me
Nice.
laugh. Yeah.
That's funny. That is funny.
The professor's always close to having his own Vanessa Hudgens moment. Or like just one tweet too far.
That is not true. That is not true.
I'm just kidding.
I am very well behaved on Twitter. I was there's some website that says
some would say too well behaved.
It gauges your Twitter feed as to whether or not you're a bot or not. And some of like the things, if you're constantly retweeting things because of agenda driven or this and that. And I looked up mine and I was like 90% human. And then I looked up Big Al's and Fanman's and they were like 40% human. Like they were mostly, I think it was just because of retweets constantly and stuff. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Because I'm retweeting you half the time. gotta sell that book.
Super chat,
right.
Professor.
Oh, super chat. Hang on, let me get back to it. J God J, thank you very much for $2. Says the new Warriors characters look trash. Oh man. Well, it's like the most unliked YouTube video or something. Their video reveal for the Snowflake and Safe Space new Warriors or whatever. Did you guys hear about that?
Everybody is getting mileage out of that. Just everybody, Nerdrotic, everybody is talking about it. It's like, you know what? I'm not even watching the videos because I don't care that much. It's just, yeah, I know it's stupid. They've got to know it's stupid. Just leave it alone. Stop talking about it. It will go away. Trust me.
I love one of the newspaper headlines, which was like, have they lost their marvels?
Yeah.
I just looked up. It's 127,000 thumbs down and 3,000 thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're clearly not looking for sales anymore. I mean,
no,
this is not a winning strategy. Hey, I did want to pin you guys down though. I know I've thrown it out there, but I really want to ask, and I want to know if you guys would really be interested in committing to it. I do want to do a rewatch of Xanadu, and I would love to have both Professor Geek and Sound Engraver, because this commentary that you did tonight is exactly what I'd like to see for Xanadu.
Oh, thank you.
I'd need time to watch it first on my own.
Sure. That's what I was thinking. If I could give you the guys the time to watch it on your own, think about it, what you'd like to say about it.
Remember, I need the MP4 of that.
Oh yeah, I'll hook you up with that.
Because it's the high seas. Sometimes you just can't find that white whale.
Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it.
You got the hookup.
But and obviously it would have to be on a night when after both of you guys had been able to watch it and put your notes together. You know, those of you that prepare and put notes together. And that you guys could both
nerds
be there. You know, because that's, so if you guys are interested.
I was like, I don't need to prepare. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a woman wearing shoes at some point in the
movie.
Yes.
Shoes, the right skirt length.
I think those look like comfortable shoes.
Feathered hair.
Roller skates.
Excuse me for noting that the girl from Halloween's shoes looked very uncomfortable.
It was the timing of it, because I had just said something about the blocking and like the archetypes and this thing, and then there's silence, and I was like, those look like uncomfortable shoes.
I'm there for variety.
And I'm right there to follow up going, yeah, he's right.
See?
It's getting a little too plebeian around here for me.
and the boyfriend not exactly staying upstairs too long.
Al points out all the little things.
The fan, he's on the fan man schedule.
I would say if you give me at least 2 weeks, then I can be ready for it. So whatever you want to schedule, Xanadu, just make sure it's 2 weeks.
Melissa Harris said Troy just gave the professor his homework.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So this is my first time analyzing anything remotely like a musical. So that was like 42 minutes done in 2 hours after watching it once. I think I could do it. I might be like a little lazy to like skim over. But like the way Professor Geek is with comics is the way I am with music, so I probably will get too into it. So
well, I mean, if you tell me, look, I need 3 months lead time, that's fine. That's fine. If that's what it is, that's what we'll do.
No. Yeah, I'll definitely look into it. I'd like to just see what it is. I need to see the trailer, but I saw something remotely fantastical looking. Is that what it is?
So,
I know nothing about this.
It is an LSD wonderful dream.
Well, that's one way of looking. I just realized
I am sober, by the way.
There are a lot of people that are following us tonight that I know are on the younger side who may not even have ever seen Xanadu. So just a little background. Xanadu, of course, the first thing that should come to mind for the professor would be that was Coleridge, right?
Yep. Samuel Taylor Coleridge.
Yep. In Xanadu, did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree? Okay, so there's that. That's very crucial. The basic story is a retelling of I believe it was it Down to Earth? And I'm going to talk about that because Xanadu is both a remake and a sequel to several different older films, one of which with Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly actually reprises his role from many, many years before. And it's the story of the muse Terpsichore, and she comes down to Earth and falls in love with a human male, and that puts her at odds with the gods, kind of in a sort of like, in a way, kind of like the Little Mermaid, Mm-hmm. I want to stay with this human. No, you can't do that. He's immortal, that sort of a thing. But it's also very much in this very 80s, rock opera sort of.
If we can just get past the Olivia Newton-John disco songs, there's actually a really cool story.
Actually,
hey, there's ELO too, man. Come on.
Yeah. ELO? Oh,
yeah.
No, I'm sold.
Yeah,
heck yeah.
That's
okay. Now, I can't read that. Was that sarcasm?
No, that was legit. I love ELO. They're great.
No. All of the music, even hers, are backed by ELO. So this movie did not get very good press. It got poor reviews, but it was a number 1 selling album.
Oh, interesting.
And she had the number 1 hit with Magic. So yes, some great music.
I'm sorry, what decade?
This was 80.
It was 80, I believe.
Yeah, 1980.
I think it was 80 right on the dot.
Great.
Yep. Michael Beck is the male lead. He
from the Warriors.
From the Warriors, exactly. And again, Gene Kelly reprising his role from what was the movie that he was in? Well, I'll do my homework too.
All that I don't know. I just know Xanadu with all the people.
Oh, now I have to look.
No,
and Sandal Bergman from Conan, who played Valeria, plays one of the other.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, but she doesn't have anywhere. She just dances, which is what Sandal Bergman was. She was.
That's true. Yeah. Very true. Cool.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe next month. Give you guys some time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can definitely look into it.
I'll check out my. Usually weekends are pretty good, but I'll check out and make sure there's like any weekend. Like, I'll make sure I don't have a paper due that weekend or anything for my program. But otherwise, it'll be good.
And if Al would be willing to give me some grace, if we got to steal one of his weeks, or switch weeks, so that
I don't know
available. I'm just asking.
Can Al be flexible?
Usually be.
That's my week.
Actually, he's the one who
CoverGirl.
Yes, it's a sequel to CoverGirl.
Oh, okay.
Gene Kelly is literally reprising his role from CoverGirl. That's right.
And Xanadu was his last film role.
That's right. It was.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, sometime in April.
Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll firm it up offline then.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.
Okay, I just love this name in the chat. Oh, it's that guy. Love it.
How are you guys enjoying quarantine? Check out my last posted video and you'll find out how we're enjoying quarantine.
Right.
Just another day for me.
Yeah, I know. Poor Al. I do want to draw everybody's attention, though, to Sound Engravers' YouTube channel. I do have everybody's channels linked down below, but Sound Engravers are first. And all this talk about music, she does this all the time on her channel. Now, she talks a lot about, she's the electronic. I do adjectives real well. She does electronic music. Later it gets more of my brain just goes on rest.
There's two women in the stream, so he completely loses his ability to talk.
That's right.
I'm flattered. I'm flattered.
You know that
Raj Gutapali,
Viva La Dirt League that I was showing some videos before, falling in love with the character on Quest and stuff. Exactly. They do this one that's like a running theme where the main guy, Rowan, they work at like this computer store, and every time a girl comes in, he'll walk up and he's trying to say like, "Hey, can I help you?" And he goes, "You're a girl." everything like yeah, so I was looking for a new laptop bag. You're a girl. Like that's all he can say to them is you're a girl. Somebody else has to come and help them.
Thanks for noticing.
Reminded me that. And then after they leave, he looks at the other guys. He's like, "Oh, that was embarrassing. You guys get a hold of yourselves next time." And walks away.
See, what the professor needs to do is watch more Hallmark movies to see how the guys in there get the girl.
That's reality.
Yeah, exactly.
And he should also see how many girls most likely don't watch Hallmark movies. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know.
I watch Hallmark.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nanette. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, I watch the Christmas ones like Al.
I hear
So
they had a Christmas weekend this weekend too.
I heard about that, like for quarantine or whatever. They're like,
yeah, it was
just
like
give everybody what
little Christmas.
they care about them anyway. The ones.
And then over here it snowed, so I don't know what to say about that.
But it didn't stick to the sidewalk or the streets, just to the grass. So yay.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Weather's been crazy here in Virginia. Mm-hmm. One day it's 80, next day it's 40. It's nuts. So
yeah.
But check out Troy and Al's channel as well. Nanette, I haven't put a link down because I don't know if you're doing channel stuff
yet.
She
hasn't gotten any content up yet, but she will soon, and then we'll do some sort of a big launch or something like that.
That's coming from my editor.
Yeah. Her editor is way behind.
Yeah. I want to do something, but I've got a review to write first. So,
a review for what?
A review for Rampage.
Oh, the Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
I wanted to see that.
I enjoyed that movie. I really liked that movie.
It was a lot of fun.
It looked like it'd be fun.
Big time popcorn movie. Exactly what it is. You're not going to win any awards for acting or anything, but just a good matinee film.
As a video game movie, I was very trepidatious about that. And then when I saw it, I was like, there wasn't a lot of story to this game. So they actually did something decent with it.
Yeah, it was a decent story. It was a decent storyline. It made sense. It had a flow, and I'm sorry, but you really do end up liking that gorilla,
right? it was better than it had any business being.
Yeah. That's really cool. I like that they picked the same monsters from the game because I would always want to play the werewolf, and I like that they actually did have a wolf.
Yeah,
and the other was like
George, Ralph, and Lizzie. I think.
Yeah, George, Ralph, and Lizzie, the crocodile, right?
Yeah,
yeah. Cool. Well, I am watching. Senator spoke of Lord of the Rings, and I've been hearing that score because my mom she has she's a widow and she's got time off from her job as well because of the corona and everything. So we've got she's got a lot of free time. So I brought over my director's cut editions of Fellowship of the Rings, or all three.
That's a day gone. Yeah.
So we've just been picking at them little by little. Like every day I'll come and we'll watch another hour or two or something like that. And we just tonight finished Fellowship of the Ring. And she's 60 something, and she's like a teenager. She's like, put in the next one. I'm like, I've got work to do, Mom. I can't just sit here and watch movies all night.
Yeah, my mom loves those, and I love them too. And I think I can't remember what she said just recently. I think it was, cleaning or just doing things around the house with that on, just the movies on because they're
wow,
they're just classic.
It is a great background film just to have it, and you can no matter where you might come across it. You could just sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
they're kind of special to me because I don't know if I told the story before, but I was about what year did the first one come out? I forget. I was 22, I think.
99, I think.
Yeah. I think I was 99, really? I thought
something like that. Late 90s.
You're such a youngin'.
I was, I know, right? Well, I'm no longer the youngest here, though, so there we go. But I wasn't in college yet, though, and I didn't have any. It was 2001. The first one was okay. No, it wasn't 90.
Okay. Hopefully,
but I wasn't in college, and I had no thought of going to college. But there was this woman who lived up the road. My mother did some housekeeping for her, just on the side, like a little extra money here and there. And her husband used to be the ambassador to Chile, so she was like, well-to-do, and she was in her 80s. And she owned this big house, this big Virginia kind of home, this land and stuff like that. But she was having some eye surgery, and she loved to read. So she was interested if somebody would come read to her. So my mom had me go up and read to her, and I was reading Lord of the Rings at the time, and she turned out to be a big Tolkien fan. So that's kind of how I got into the stories, was reading them to her, and then we would talk about them afterwards. And I actually took her to go see each of the movies, and she lived. She died when she was 90 something, but she lived up to finally see the last film.
Oh,
and I got to take her to see the last movie and everything. And her sons, are all like, I hear you're taking my mom out on a date. And I'm like, don't make it so weird than it is. But in reading those and then talking to her about it, she's the one that actually just pummeled it into my head. Get your butt back in school. You're too bright not to. And then so many years later, here I am working on my third graduate degree and teaching university. So
that's awesome.
Fellowship of the Ring, all the Lord of the Rings movies are kind of a special place for me there. But we'll have to we did the Hobbit book study on my Catholic Bible Geek channel, and we will definitely get around to the Lord of the Rings at some point. I want to finish out the Thrawn trilogy on the Professor Geek channel here first. And speaking of, we do have another installment coming up on Thursday. What chapters are we doing, Al?
11 through 15.
11 through 15? No, we did that this time, didn't we?
Did we?
We did that.
No. Don't give us more reading.
Hold on.
I forget. Maybe I'm right.
I was right. It's 11 through 15.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Alan's right.
You're right. Okay, I'm sorry. You don't mean numbers. I don't.
Yeah, I know.
67 or 76.
Can I say something though? Very, very important. The binary sunsets, is like, to me, that's like the Obi-Wan Luke Skywalker theme,
Oh yeah.
That just beautiful. I think the track name or the title of the song is Binary Sunsets. And see, that's so memorable. Everyone knows it. Everyone recognizes it. I have listened to Ray's theme twice, intentionally, objectively. I cannot remember what it sounds like. Right. That's bad composition. So
Sound Engraver just ensured that she will be invited back many, many more times.
I know. My heart goes pitter patter, let me tell you.
I said that because it's truth.
Yeah.
But I'm glad.
Yeah.
And that's also the reason why, and again, I have not seen that last movie, and I have no intention of it, but I have seen the scene in the end where, she's on Tatooine looking at those suns, and I'm like, that is cultural appropriation.
Yes. Good way of putting it.
She has no business. She stole the name.
Yep.
She stole the birthright.
She buried the lightsabers, man.
I triggered myself here.
Yeah, it's a methodical dismantling and reappropriating for the new agendas. Yeah, absolutely. And J.C. Finney series says, when do I get to hear Al sing along with Dr. Horrible?
Right.
That would be fun.
That's what he came here to hear.
Oh.
Bad horse, bad horse, bad horse, bad horse. Okay, you happy?
Ishi, since Ishi's in the stream, Ishi, I just wanted to say we just listened to your commentary on The Cube today. I loved it. I was captivated because I love that movie. Thank you so much for that. If anyone has any interest in a really brilliant film, Cube, watch that movie and then go check out Ishi's commentary on it.
I haven't seen the movie, but I can definitely recommend Ishi's commentary because I know that'll be spot on. He and Kat always give really interesting comments.
I can't recommend it to you, Professor. It's not your kind of movie.
Okay. So it must be horror then, or
Is that horror? There's Yeah, it's kind of horror. It's kind of like the Saw series.
Oh yeah, no pass. All right.
But yeah, but Nanette and I loved it. So, anyway, so if anyone has any interest in that film, check. If you haven't seen the film, watch it. If you have seen it, go check out Ishii's commentary on it, and of course, like and subscribe too.
Sounds familiar.
These guys just wake up in a prison and they're trying to get out of it, and it's like a puzzle that they're trying to work their way out of. And
Okay.
Very Saw-like.
Yeah.
There was one that was similar to that. It's something like The Circle, and you just see that there's like a group of 30 people, and each one they're standing on a circle, and they can't leave the circle, or they'll like be disintegrated. And like every couple of minutes, another one of them, they vote to see who'll get killed or something. And it's one of those social commentary type.
Yeah, see, I'm not really. The only concept like that I did find interesting is in the context of a shark movie. What was the name of the movie, Al, where the girl is she's stuck on the rock and the shark it keeps circling her, and then she's waiting for the tide, because when the tide gets to a certain point, the shallows, because when the tide gets to a certain point, that rock will no longer be there, and she's trying to figure out how to get out of that situation because the shark is. That was an interesting concept, I thought, but I never saw them film though. Yeah, bad dream, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Nanette. I got the notification that you subscribed.
Yay!
Thank you.
Yes, hopefully everybody's off subscribing to Sound Engraver. Subscribe to Ishii there in the chat as well. I got some little bit of schoolwork to do, but I also got some work to do on the GI Jackrabbits tonight. So who wants to go first, shouting out anything for their channel? Troy, you want to go first?
What about my
anything
channel?
upcoming from your channel? Or
see, that's the problem. I get so busy with life, I don't get my content out. I have been trying desperately to. In fact, I've even started a video about the last season of Doctor Who that I haven't gotten done yet, but I'm hoping to very soon. I am also planning to start doing some videos on the Klingon channel. And my hope is I've been asked by Orville Nation to co-host. They're going to be interviewing the folks from Axanar.
Oh,
that
cool.
didn't happen, but if it does happen, I was supposed to be involved in that. So who knows? We'll see if that happens. I'll let everybody know about that if that comes out.
Yeah, Orville Nation's another great channel up and coming. So
yep.
Al?
Well, for me, next Saturday we will be watching the 1980 classic Flash Gordon. Which would be Sound Engraver if you want to come along and like that, because that's another great
soundtrack.
Great soundtrack. And
I want to check that out. I got to check out the film actually.
Yes.
Where can I find it? I'm bad with movies, guys. I'm confessing this live.
I honestly don't know. Got to look around for it.
Let me take a look real quick. I can find out while you guys are talking.
Yeah. And there is a super chat for $1.99 from Swift Justice 2020 saying, "I love Sound Engraver, such a
Swift
sweetheart."
Justice.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, he puts great feedback and commentary on my videos.
Awesome.
I am not finding Flash Gordon anywhere for free. I'm finding it for on all the main channels.
It is on the high seas, I will say that.
Yeah.
But well, because of the passing of the late great Max von Sydow, I figured it's on the mind. It's on Comet TV, but that's of course with commercials and a few cuts. Mm-hmm. But so we'll be watching that and just kind of enjoying that wonderful space fantasy.
Al does get a little weird when it comes to his Queen fandom. I made a whole video about that once. I'll see if I can find it here.
Queen is pretty awesome, though.
There they are.
4 guys going at it.
That's what Al says. Al was talking about music one time, and he said, was saying how he loves Queen. He likes the lineup. He said, just a nice, guitar, bass, drums. He said maybe a little keyboard. And he's like, I just like, just 4 guys going at it. That's just really great. And I was like, that you need to rephrase that, Al. That is not the best. And then of course, Stephen Cruz, our resident, clipper and music maker here, put that together into like a techno beat of Al just saying over and over 4 guys going at it. So then I put pictures of Queen to that song. And I actually have it as a video. I'll have to share it here at the end. But first, let's before we get into all that nonsense, let Sound Engraver talk about her channel, because she puts out 2 awesome videos a week. So what's going on your channel?
Well, actually, there's not going to be commentary this week just because my mom was just really cool enough. It was actually really spontaneous. She's based just south of Seattle, and with all these, anything can happen, really. Not to be, cynical about what to happen, but travel restrictions are just they could be quite serious in a matter of days. And so she's like, I've got this weekend, I'm going to fly over. So I've been spending the weekend with her, and it's been a nice time. We got to see the ocean like one little second before the cop said, no, you can't.
Oh no.
Because it's been closed off.
Oh man.
We were stepping on the dock, and we heard a boop, boop, boop. I was like,
oh no.
Oh, okay, we're going. So they were making circles on the beach. So you can't congregate here. But anyway, it's been nice. But anyway, for my channel, so no commentary unless I do something quick, but I probably won't this Tuesday. But more on probably my original stuff if I don't do something on Super Collider. I'm actually teaching now. I'm in the transition of teaching all my students online. So
I saw you tweeting about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good that I have work. It's going to be, I'm not complaining, actually. I'm really grateful, but it's going to be a huge adjustment teaching my students on my computer that I also compose on and edit videos. So it's going to be this whole new mental shift. So, but definitely sound experimentation this Thursday, and hopefully some more commentary on art that may or may not be controversial. Maybe not to you guys. I agree with a lot of what you guys say, but to my artist friends, we'll see.
So your mom's from Washington State?
Yeah, actually, I'm originally from Seattle.
Oh, Bigfoot.
Wow.
But I'm not. I didn't just come from Seattle. You're safe. I'm clean.
You definitely don't sound like you originated from the South.
I'm always interested in any Pacific Northwest thing because of my obsession with Sasquatch and Bigfoot.
Sound Engraver, have you ever been to Snoqualmie and seen the falls?
Yes, actually, you know what? My dad took me out the night I graduated for dinner at Snoqualmie Falls, a really nice restaurant.
Really?
Oh, nice.
And yeah, really nice seafood. Salmon is great there, but yeah, very nature. I do miss the Northwest. I like North Carolina. It's really pretty, but there are sometimes I get calls like, oh, maybe I should go back. I don't know. But I'm in North Carolina for a while, I think. Well, now more than ever, like we're stuck.
That's great country anyway, though.
Yeah, I do. I think NC is really pretty.
Yeah, the roads aren't all that great, but the countryside's nice.
Carolina barbecue.
I haven't had barbecue yet here.
It's like a vinegar based. So I could go off on barbecue.
Al really likes regional foods.
Yeah, I dig like region and specialty foods.
Yeah.
I actually didn't care for barbecue when I was in the Northwest until I lived in Arkansas. I was like, barbecue's great.
Yeah.
The southern people know how to make it.
You went native.
Exactly.
So where are you at on barbecue? Rubs or sauces?
Oh man, I just had this conversation with my mom. So I fronted the question like, what would you prefer, superior sauce or superior food? I actually have to say sauce. Like I can have mediocre food. If I have prize-winning barbecue sauce, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
See, I don't like to get messy, so
no, that's the whole point of it, man.
No. I prefer my meat with a dry rub, properly seasoned, and I'm good. I can do sauce, but it's not necessary for me.
Honey, that's why I wear gloves when I eat my ribs.
Yes,
you have to have a bib, man. Haven't you had like crawfish?
That's why God made napkins.
See, I don't like getting the sauce under my nails, so I'll put on latex gloves and then I'll just pig out.
That's
and
perfect.
Peel them off and clean hands.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
See, you get the sauce on your shirt, and then like a couple hours later, when you're hungry again, you just kind of stuck on your shirt.
There's Al. Why we love him.
I mean, let's face it. I am a Klingon. I do eat with my hands. I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not big on sauces. I'm a simple. I want to taste the meat. That's just me, though.
Now, I feel like
okay, Stephen Cruz, isolate that one. taste the meat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I actually have maybe an English question, but probably for the prof and for Al.
Mhm.
There's a verb that is coming at the front of my head, and I don't know. Is it sop it? Like sop it up? Like when you're talking about food?
Oh,
Is that what yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like that phrase, like just, like
Sop up the juice.
Yes.
That's a Southern thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Sop it up. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway.
Well, definitely check out everybody's channels here. Do want to remind people about my campaign as well. I'm not going to show it up here because they'll take down the YouTube bots will go out anytime I show any kind of campaign. I'll show other people's campaigns too. I don't know what it is, like something Indiegogo just and it was only me for a while, but then Adam Post, who's doing the College of the Dead campaign, said no, they did it to me now and 2 or 3 other people as well. So just the YouTube bots now that are working while the YouTube employees can't. It's just it's kind of crazy. So just remind people about that. The link is in the description below. If you like sort of Twilight Zone fiction, there's a special collections edition that I'm running as one last chance for people to get in on the campaign before I ship. And then a lot of people from the original campaign are deciding to ship all mine together, save on shipping, and so that's fine too. So do all that. Of course, with the whole craziness going on, that's even slowing people's shipments and stuff. Like, Amazon's not shipping this and that kind of thing anymore, and the post office is slower and all kinds of stuff. But
actually, I haven't had any problems with Amazon. Anything I've ordered, I've gotten it, like the next day or in 2 days, like I normally have.
Well, you also live close to a big hub there, Chicago.
Yeah, probably, yeah. But as far as I'm taking down like campaigns and stuff, that's happening with like GoFundMe things too. They're just stopping. I'm saying that they're all like not legitimate or something when they actually are, and they're just getting rid of everyone's GoFundMes. And you have a $1.99 super chat from Swift Justice 2020. Y'all making me hungry for barbecue specifically.
Yeah.
I understand.
I like the accent she used.
That's
from years of watching The Closer.
Professor.
Well, bless your little heart.
How much longer do we have on this most recent the special edition?
Oh, it met its goal, so it's got the rest of the 30 days for the campaign, and then I'll leave up the Indigo in-demand store for a little while. So you got plenty of time. It's nothing like do it now or it's gone forever.
I was just going to say because this week is pay week, so.
Oh goodness, you guys buy everything I ever do. You certainly don't have to do it. I mean, you're welcome to, but don't feel like you have to by any means. I appreciate all the support you guys give.
It's the whole Pokemon thing, we got to get all the covers. We got to get all
I understand.
Got to catch them all.
My husband's a purist. So I mean, if he's got like, there's a series, say, of movies. If he's got the first one, he's got to get like the second one. And if there's a third one, get the third one. So we have them all because he's a purist.
Do you guys have like a house full of these rooms that you just like store very specific things, like theme-based rooms?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, and we do
that's pretty cool.
Inside of the basement, we have a bunch of stuff, and we're going. I just can't, and sometimes stuff will come out. Like we just saw from Toy Fair this year. They're doing all these new Ghostbuster figures, and I'm looking at them going, "Oh God, I cannot get into those. I've got so many Star Wars toys."
Yeah, I just got him a 4-foot Jabba's sail barge, which was really, really hard to get.
I've got a video about that, by the way.
Yeah, he's got that. And then the garage, he's got a 6-foot Millennium Falcon. One of the other things. I'm his enabler.
Are you going to play that?
And then on one wall of our, we're calling it our family room. It's kind of our family game room, party room, whatever you want to call it. But this is where we spend most of our time hanging out. We have over 900 movies.
Yeah.
That's
900. Wow.
That's lots of DVDs. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's movies and TV series. So we have a mixture.
Play that, Professor?
I am. I'm going to play this going out. But I used to have stuff like that everywhere. But it's once you have a daughter who doesn't understand, no, don't touch that, because she knows you're a pushover. And the second you're looking away, she's going to touch it and rearrange it. And
that's one of the benefits of the empty nest.
Yeah. She's not allowed in my office when I'm not here because all of my action figures like, nope.
Toys are not to play with.
Exactly. But as a way to whet everybody's appetite for the Queen for the Flash Gordon rewatch next week, I will play this video. And again, this is just to set this up. Al was trying to talk about how he liked the setup of Queen, just four guys, in a band, there's Instrumentation, just four guys going at it, as he said. I said, you shouldn't have said it like that. Stephen Cruz, sure enough, was listening, cut it, and put it together in this little disco beat or techno beat. And then I put images of Queen up and interspersed with Al's emoji. You ain't very excited.
There are a lot of things I shouldn't have said certain ways.
So I'll let this play us out. Hopefully this won't shut it down, but I'll let this play us out anyway.
Like the last time we tried something like this.
I know, right?
I'll say goodbye for now, just in case.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we'll stay up, but YouTube might go down.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think it's all about the bass, about the bass. No trouble.
Sing that again.
No. That's what I love about Queen. I mean, it's just those four guys going at it. 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 Lead guitar, bass, and drum, and like a little keyboard. You keep adding too much to it, you just muddy up the waters. In my book, I like it simple.
That was a perfect music analysis, Al.
Thank you.
Four guys going at it.
My technical analysis of music is legendary.
I'm doing good point today. Four guys going at it.
I forgot I put Queen on the table in front of him.
Four guys going at it. Four guys going at it.
You need $2.
Do anything for love, but I won't do that.
Love you, Big Al.
I love you too. I enjoy four guys going at
it. Oh man, my glasses are all fogged up from laughing.
And I think Swift Justice has bought you lunch.
What's that?
Swift Justice is just giving you another.
Another super chat. You guys need to make that a shirt logo. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we need more Professor Geek merch.
There you go. I know. Need to get on that. But cool. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you, my panel here. Thanks, Sound Engraver, for joining us, and Nanette for coming on board here. Appreciate that. And we'll be back Tuesday night, of course, for the usual office hours. We'll find some stuff in geek news to rant about and talk about, and then I think that we said the book study Thursday nights. So hopefully Al will decide on afternoons with Al at some point this week.
Yeah, we'll see.
And so is it? You said you're not doing one of the videos. Is it a Tuesday or Thursday drop? Then people can expect. Michelle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to Al.
Oh, I know. I jumped people and didn't even say the name. You said you weren't doing one of them. So
it would be my coffee break commentary. I don't think I'll be able to get to it in time.
Gotcha.
For this week, but hopefully I'll resume. This would be my first not doing it a week since I started.
Certainly understandable. But it's Tuesday, then we can have something.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Tuesdays for commentary, Thursdays for sound experimentation.
Yeah. Cool. I just want to make sure I had that straight. So.
Oh, sure.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us in the chat. Had a blast. Again, if you catch the rewatch when this goes back up, the link is at the beginning if you want to watch along with it, as long as that link works anyway. And you can hear all of our commentary and hear Michelle's great musical commentary. I'm going to remember those things myself, and hopefully we'll all be back together doing this again soon with Xanadu or something else before then. So, all right. Thanks, guys. And until next time, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the hero stories you love. Thanks for watching.
Sop up the sauce.